Morning, morning. What's going on, guys? What is going on, guys? Good morning. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Mr. Handy Hands, what's going on, man? Ed, what's going on? Ed, you might need to turn up your speakers. All good here. Loud and clear. Cool. What's going on, guys? Let's just wait for a few more people to join and then we'll get right into it. You know what? Let me announce this on Twitter too. One second. Going live with your stocks, options, crypto, fun questions. Ask me anything. Sorry, I'm just making the announcement on Twitter. All right. Yeah, think of some topics that you guys want me to discuss. Obviously, there is the Fed meeting that is starting today. We'll be curious to hear what their position is on tapering. Going live and as you can see, the market is flat. We'll talk about the market in a second, but the market is also waiting on that. Going live now. Ask me. Going live now to talk about. Sorry, guys, just sending out this tweet. Stocks, options, crypto, and whatever else you ask me. All right. Yeah, but obviously I want to talk about, I want to get into your crypto questions. I want to get into any questions that you have on, your options trading, on your stock trading. So feel free to ask away and I'll try to get to as many questions as possible. All right. So I sent that out. I just tweeted that. Let's go back to the chat. All right. I'm already missing some quote. What's up, Casey? What's going on? Patrick, what's going on? Nathaniel, Dragos, KSO, what's going on? MJ's Music Works, Ron, Shlomo. God, a lot of you today. Bruno, what's going on, man? All right, let me get to any of your questions. What is your opinion on Sandbox? In what sense? What do you mean? What is your take on value investing? Hey, bro, are you still holding LAC? Okay, I'll get into those. But what did you mean by Sandbox, George? Are you talking about a specific asset, or let me know? All right. So in terms of value investing, I assume that you mean investing in value stocks, or stocks that you perceive to have to be undervalued. I mean, here's my take. I always thought that the designation of value stocks and growth stocks were funny because in general, anytime you're investing, whether they're value stocks or growth stocks, you are investing in stocks that you think are underpriced for the long term. Now, the difference is growth stocks, they expect a certain amount of growth every year, right? So when you're looking at Facebook earnings or you're looking at Google earnings, right now, the growth stocks, really, that sphere is dominated by mega cap tech, whereas once upon a time, it didn't used to be. But you expect those companies to grow every single year by a small percentage, 2%, 3%, whatever. I do think that the landscape has changed a bit ever since the mega cap stocks became both growth and value stocks, right? So you can have mega cap tech stocks that are, wow, that is so loud. Did you guys hear that? Let me turn that off. Or else it's going to annoy the shit out of everybody. But yeah, I do think the landscape has changed a bit. And I do think that you are better served having a mix of growth and value in your long-term portfolio. It doesn't make sense to just have value stocks because, you know, the mega cap tech, I think that they changed the game. They act a lot of times both as growth and as value stocks. Like you'll see mega cap tech stocks also pay out dividends, which is traditionally not a thing that growth stocks do. So I don't like to box myself into a one or the other type of investor. I think you're better served having a mix of both. All right. So yeah, as I said, the Federal Reserve is the 2-day meeting starts today. The FOMC meeting, as you can see here, November 2nd and 3rd. We'll have more updates as they release more, but we're expecting them to basically, start talking about tapering. And for those of you that are new to investing or new to the stock market, what is tapering? Tapering basically means that they're going to slow down their asset purchases. So the Fed purchases a certain amount of assets every month as Fed policy in order to keep interest rates down. Because what happens when you buy large amounts of bonds, that then pushes the interest rates down, right? When you don't buy bonds, interest rates go up because it wants to attract investors to then buy in bonds. So when the Fed comes in and pumps hundreds of billions of dollars a month in bond purchases, they are artificially keeping the interest rates down because they want to increase the money supply in the economy. However, when inflation gets too hot, you have to stop doing that, or else the price of everything is just going to go up because everybody has so much money. You could see the record sales of companies like Apple or Best Buy or Walmart or whatever. Everyone has so much money now, which is the weird thing about this pandemic or the so-called recession that occurred during the pandemic, is that spending went through the roof. And usually in recessions, you see spending curtailed. But a lot of that has to do with what the Fed has done. Chris Wolf donated $5 to St. Jude's. Oh, yeah. So a few announcements. Guys, we're doing the St. Jude's fundraiser. For those of you that are new, all of the live streams, we do the St. Jude's fundraiser. So instead of sending me any super chats or whatever, you are encouraged to do that, to donate to St. Jude's. Obviously, there is no obligation to do so, but it would be nice if you are going to donate to me. Don't donate to me. Send it to St. Jude's. So that is it. Second thing, hit that like button for sure. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up so that the stream could be found easier through the YouTube algorithm. And we are also doing $100 off the options course. We are relaunching the options course on a new platform with some new features. So look at the link in the description and you'll see a link to put your email in for $100 off. All right. So let us get into more of your questions. Are you planning on coming to Miami, Beast Mode? I will be in Miami, but if you're talking about like a certain crypto conference, no, but I will likely be in Miami in 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to New York and then going to be in Miami, but it's just for fun. I don't know if there's a crypto conference or something going on there. Louis, you do great work. Keep it up. Or Luis, thanks, man. Thank you so much. Are you bullish for PayPal for earnings? All right, let's take a look at PayPal real quick. PayPal right now, people were asking me about it yesterday in the YouTube video. And right now, this is what's called a falling knife because it doesn't seem to have established support. If you look at the difference between that chart and something that has dropped, like, I'm looking at the weekly chart. Something that has dropped like Twilio, you do see 4 candles already at support. PayPal doesn't look to be turning anytime soon. And it's dropping even more today. So this right here is called a falling knife. Now, obviously, if you are investing for the long term and you think PayPal is a good company, you don't worry so much about where will the bloodbath stop, and you start dollar cost averaging. But for me, because I'm looking at charts every day, and I know how to read a chart, I have the luxury of waiting, right? A lot of value investors or old school type investors don't really look at charts this intently, but because we're stuck to the charts all day, every day, I have the luxury of looking to see where PayPal will drop. So I do think I am bullish on PayPal long term. I'm not willing to buy it as it's dropping like this. I will wait to see if it finds any sort of support. Visa looked like it was finding support. I'll be curious to see what it does here. I do have a stop limit on my Visa because I did end up buying it yesterday, and I think I set a stop limit, I want to say around 203, 204. I can't remember. But yeah, guys, make sure that you're setting up stop limits as well. Regine, yes, Miami meetup. Oh, Regine, I didn't realize that you were in Miami, or maybe you're not, and you just want to meet in Miami. Have a great time in Miami, champ. Yeah, I mean, okay, you know what? If I'm there, if and when I'm there, I'll send it out on the Discord and on YouTube, and yeah, you guys hit me up, and maybe on Instagram as well. And we'll do a meetup if enough of you are there. Shlomo, thank you so much, man. $20 donated to the St. Jude's Hospital. If you have a question, Shlomo, let me know and I'll get to your questions. Chris, I don't know if you had a question or you're just donating, but thank you for the donation once again. Yeah, for those of you that donated, I will be looking for your questions. Unfortunately, YouTube has not. They don't bump your question to the top like they do with Super Chat, and I really wish they did for donations in the same way. But yeah, Denver meetup next time you come out for a ski trip. Yes, I love snowboarding in Colorado for sure. I'm bullish on ATVI earnings. Is SHIB going to the moon? Okay, we'll talk about ATVI. We'll talk about SHIB. And Shlomo said I posted a question earlier. Okay, I will look for it, or if you don't mind posting it again so that it's bumped to the top. All right. We sold the put on ATVI. I felt like that was the best way to play it because I did not want to try and guess and buy calls before earnings. However, video game stocks have been doing. They actually have been underperforming compared to their earnings. I do expect the video game stocks to actually have a resurgence around holiday season. And then on ATVI, I thought it was even a better opportunity because there was more of an overreaction due to a round of bad news. They had a change in leadership, but I do think that is a good opportunity to get in. Now, bullish on earnings. Let's actually see how ATVI acted the last few earnings. And by the way, if you guys want access to any of these tools, there are links in the description for all this stuff. You certainly don't have to, but they help me a lot. So any tools that you see here me using, like this one is Market Chameleon. It lays out really nicely the previous 8-10 earnings of every company, and then also tells you whether the stock stays within the expected move or not. So for those of you that don't trade options, stocks have an expected move, and this is usually based on the at the money straddle price. And the expected move is basically a move plus or minus that dollar amount, and whether the stock has a routine habit of staying within that expected move or not. And you could see ATVI, it really does. So out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 earnings, only one time it busted out of the expected move. Otherwise, it stays within. Now, the reason that's helpful is because it allows us to then formulate our strategy. So in my view, when looking at ATVI, I would, do a few things. I would either sell a put if I'm bullish because I don't expect it to drop that much if it does drop, right? So I would sell a cash secured put, or you could set up something like an iron condor, which is a neutral strategy, hoping that ATVI stays in between, or you could do something like a double calendar spread, which we did on Apple last week. But yeah, I will definitely be sending out a trade on this. They actually report earnings today after market close. So I'll definitely get that in before the end of the day. So if you guys are in the trading group, watch out for that. All right. So Rafael Mendoza donated $5. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you so much for your donation. Again, if you have a question, let me know. Shlomo, I'm looking for your question, man. I know that you said that you asked a question before, but now I'm looking through the sea of chats. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Bump this live stream to the top of the YouTube algorithm. Shlomo, I'm looking for your question, man. God, YouTube really makes a mockery of this donation thing. Like, I wish they would treat it the same way that they do the super chats. Shlomo. I don't see a question, bro. You're gonna make me look all day for it. Casey Ray, thanks a lot, man. Casey, shout out to Casey. Thank you so much for the $5 donation to St. Jude's. Casey, Rafael, if you guys have a question, please let me know as well. And Shlomo, I'm still looking for yours. So if you're still with us, please repost it. Okay, Casey did actually have a question here. I find yours. Do you see this as a good support level to DCA into Vale for an Okay, so a lot of weird things have been going on with Vale. Okay, it is still a profitable company, and it is trading at a very good multiple. As you could see here, the valuation grade on Seeking Alpha is an A+, profitability is an A+. You know, this is considered a pure value company, because as I was saying at the outset, you know, value companies aren't expected to grow at the same rate that growth companies are expected to grow. It's in the actual name, but it is trading below its sector peers. Look at this valuation grade. This is a great stock to own. So its PE non-GAAP is only 2.46. The sector median is 16. So most of the stocks in its sector are trading at 8 times the PE non-GAAP that Vale is trading at. That is just an example of how you would read these valuation grades. Same as if you look at price to sales or price to book, it's trading at a much bigger discount than its peers in the sector. So from a valuation standpoint, it's good. From a profitability standpoint, it's good. I do think that this is a good stock to dollar cost average, and I think that these are the types of stocks that you will see pops in. And they will be unexpected, or they will seem unexpected. But for those that have been buying the dip, you know, they're the ones who are going to reap the benefits. However, just like PayPal, I think that you can wait to find support on Vale. Now, they do have earnings coming up. Oh, actually, they just reported earnings a few days ago. That might be another reason that it didn't pop, is that, yeah, I mean, they came in with positive EPS, but I think they missed on both revenue and earnings. But wait for this to find support. Now, you could have said that, by the way. You could have said that here, right? Like, you could have made a purchase on Vale here thinking that this was support, and that would be okay. But the next purchase that you make, wait for it to find another round of support. You don't want to just keep buying something every candle it moves down, because it can move down for forever. Vale seems to have, you know, dropped nonstop from going all the way back in August. You know, we're down now almost 45%. And if you look at its ratios, as I showed you, both valuation and profitability, it's, you know, by all intents and purposes, it's a great stock to own, but it has suffered from a round of bad news in Brazil. So Alistair Escobar says, LA meetup. Yeah, I live here, so we definitely should do an LA meetup. Okay. Rafael Mendoza, again, thank you for your donation. So I'll get to your question. What do you think about Skills? Earnings are tomorrow. So Skills is, I mean, these you know, hyper growth companies that were really remnants of the 2020 bull run, that, you know, people would not really have known about them if they didn't have these insane runs, and YouTubers weren't making a zillion videos about them. But these are, you know, these companies are having a tough time. I don't know that they get back to these multiples here without, you know, them proving earnings over a period of years. With that said, where it's at currently, it is trading near the SPAC price. You know, it did drop to about $8, but you could probably sell a cash secured put on Skills for not that much money. Let me see here. 1 second. Let me go to. I'm gonna look at the at what the options price look like in a second. So let me just go here real quick, and let me go here real quick. All right, let me just open up my trading platform. All right, and we're gonna take a look at we're going to take a look at skills. All right. So, all right. So if you take a look at skills, you could probably sell a cash secured put if you really wanted to own it and not really have to deal with trying to guess. Let's see. Actually, might not be paying out that much, but you could sell the January cash secured put at $10. You could sell that for $1.15. Now, what that means is that if skills by expiration by January is $10 or below, you'll get assigned, but you will get assigned skills at a price of $9.85 because it's $10. You got paid $1.15 for each share. So your cost basis is 10 minus $1.15, which is, $8.85. Did I say $9.85? I meant $8.85, right? So you could do that and take the guesswork out of it because, that seemingly was the bottom for skills around that $8 mark. And if skills actually starts climbing from here, then your cash secured put position will be up, right? Because you sold the put to somebody else. And you can close your position out for profit. Now, what will it do on earnings? Nobody can tell you. Now, what it has done on earnings, luckily, you actually have the data, right, or the ability to look this up. So if we look at earnings, the last few moves on skills, now they've only reported 3. It's a very young company. They've only reported 3 earnings, 2 of which have dropped, one of which hasn't. But again, they stay within the expected move. So you can even do something like sell an iron condor on skills, expecting it to stay within a range. And if you guys want me to go through that, how to set up an iron condor, I'm happy to do that. So, all right, let me go back to the chat and see if there's any questions. Regine says, I'm in Miami. Yeah. All right. Rafael says 204. I'm not sure what you mean. Could you talk about the strategy when to roll over covered calls, especially for Tesla? Dude, you roll over your calls, your covered calls. I mean, if you sold the covered call in Tesla, you're probably good now, depending on when you sold it. Actually, you might be someone that has sold it, last week, thinking that it won't crack $1,000. If that's the case, I mean, look, I never buy calls back, right, for a loss. I hate that habit. I hate when people do that. They'll sell calls and they're like, oh no, I don't want to give up my shares. What do I do now? Should I buy it back for $150 loss, 150% loss? No, you shouldn't buy your calls back. You let it play out. If you get your shares called, so be it. You could buy shares again. Or you can roll it forward, right? If you keep rolling your call forward, the further out your expiration is, the less likely it is that you'll get assigned. So that's when you keep rolling your calls forward, is when you want to push out the inevitable. Now, technically, you can get assigned at any time in the U.S. options market. However, you can roll over, try to push forward the inevitable and collect more premium while you're at it. So if you sold let's just say you sold the 1100 call on Tesla and you know that you're going to be assigned that expiration, you can keep rolling that call forward, getting paid. And the worst that can happen is you will get your shares called, right? So you keep rolling it forward either to keep collecting profit if you still believe that there is a ceiling for Tesla that hasn't been hit yet, or if Tesla's already trading above your covered call, you could just keep rolling it forward, hoping that Tesla will retrace and you're continuing to collect premium for rolling it out and delaying the inevitable. But buying it back for a loss, no, I hate when people make a habit of that. All right, I missed a lot of donations. I got to call you guys out. Casey Ray, I got to Casey's. Thank you so much for your donation. Will Martinez donated $15 to St. Jude's. Thank you so much, Will. Thank you so much for your donation. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Shlomo says posted it 3 times. Okay. Shlomo, let me get to your question, bro. because I swear to God, like I see everyone's question except for yours. Shlomo. I posted a question. I don't see it, man. You say you posted it. The only thing I see is you saying that you posted a question. I don't see your actual question. Guys, if one of you sees Shlomo's question and you guys can help a brother out and post it for him, do that, because I don't see Shlomo's question. Shlomo, I do see your comment saying that you posted a question, but I don't see your question. By the way, guys, another reminder: hit that thumbs up. Let's push this to the top of the YouTube algorithm. Okay, Will Martinez, thank you so much for your donation. Ilya Papok, hopefully I'm pronouncing your question right. Thank you so much for your $5 to St. Jude's. Brad Barney donated $20. Man, thank you guys so much. I will look for your questions. YouTube is eating a bowl of Schween this AM. Not sure what you mean. Tony Lee, thank you so much. I will get to your guys' questions if you guys, have questions and you do post them. But thank you guys so much for your donations to St. Jude's, man. That is so appreciated. Thank you guys so much. All right. Roku earnings. Okay, we'll get to Roku. So I'll have that on the list. Someone asked a question about Cardano. I'll get to Cardano. We'll look at SHIB. Let me write this stuff down. So Roku, Cardano, SHIB, and then I'll even look at Bitcoin. All right, let me see. Okay, Shlomo. Okay, now he posts a part 2. Okay, in terms of choosing coins, entry and exit stop loss. Thank you, Shlomo. Come on, bro. That's not a question. In terms of choosing coins, entry and exit stop loss. I mean, that is such a you might as well just have asked me, how do you fly a plane, right? One, learn how to read a chart, okay? Learn how to read a chart. That is, Nabil says, do Control F and search. No, you can't do that in YouTube chat. Whether you're talking about coins or stocks or whatever, the way to find it is by learning how to read a chart. There is no secret mechanism that's going to fast track this process, right? You have to learn how to read a chart. So, if you're talking about, how did we find an entry on SHIB, for instance? I know that a lot of you guys like this coin. A lot of you guys hate this coin. For me, I just trade whatever's legal for me to trade. I'm not shilling anything. I'm not saying this is a great investment, but right off the bat, I could tell you here that this right now is creating what is called a bull flag. Oh, and I will get to AMC as well. This right now is creating what is called a bull flag or a bullish pennant, right? If you look up, just Google chart patterns, I'm sure you can find a ton of cheat sheets that will show you the different chart patterns. Look, if you go to chart patterns cheat sheet, I'm sure you can find a zillion of them, okay? So let's just pick a random one. And you could even print this out and put it on, on your wall. But if you look at bullish pennant, right? This is what I was describing here. But obviously I know them by heart because, I'm a maniac and I do this all day, every day for 2 decades. So this is what's called a bullish pennant. This is exactly what SHIB is doing now. Now, it's a continuation pattern. And by the way, guys, this applies to everything, not just crypto, not just SHIB, not just whatever. You expect it to break out of here. So you would enter, right? You would enter a position here expecting a breakout, but you would protect yourself by putting a stop loss below the bullish pennant. Now, in this case, SHIB and a lot of other cryptos, because they are thinly traded compared to stocks, they usually tend to wick pretty heavy. So what you would have to do, unfortunately, is put a stop loss below the previous long wick. Really, I would like to move my stop loss closer. But because you're dealing with crypto, you have to know the assets that you're dealing with. You don't want to get stopped out prematurely. So you would actually have to set it maybe a little wider than you wanted to. That's an example of how you would find things to trade. Now, you would basically, go through a list of stocks or coins or whatever, and you would run the same exercise. Like, I would say, is there a good entry on Ethereum right now? So I'd go to Ethereum and I'm looking at it. No, there isn't a good entry on Ethereum right now. Now, I did send out a trade alert or an analysis when Ethereum was sitting at the 100-day moving average. This is another way to find entries, is using the major moving averages as your support and resistance levels, right? So again, you don't have to be a master chartist, but you do have to learn how to read a chart at the minimum. I did a whole video on how to do technical analysis. If you search the Traveling Trader technical analysis, that is a good refresher video on how to do basic technical analysis and buy stocks or coins or whatever on things like the moving averages or like that bullish pennant that I showed. But, asking how do you find things to trade? You really have to learn how to read a chart first. And then everything goes from there. All right, we got a bunch of donations. John Ka donated $10. Thank you so much, John, for your donation. The gods will bless you, or God will bless you, whatever you believe in. But the universe will bless you. Let's just say that, whatever you believe in. Tony Lee donated $5. Thank you so much, Tony, for your donation. You guys are angels, man. Thank you so much. Again, you know what? I will write to YouTube and see if they can actually mimic the super chat functionality with the donations, because it just doesn't make sense not to, right? Control Films donated £5 to St. Jude's. Thank you so much. I'm going to butcher this name. Swaminathan Murugesan donated $5 to St. Jude's. Thank you so much. And you did ask a question, Swami. Can I call you Swami? I don't know. I don't want to offend you. Swaminathan said, is Visa or PayPal? I talked about both Visa and PayPal. So PayPal, I want it to find support. Currently, it's a falling knife. There is major support around the 225, 226 level. But I would rather just wait for it to find support. And then Visa looks like it did find support here, but we do have a tall red candle today at 1.5%. You could dollar cost average here or wait. You don't have to rush into buying these things. So I would wait on both. Look at the chart, see if it can find support. What price point to start investing in Tesla? Andrew, unfortunately, you are a bit late, my friend. I always make this analogy, but when I used to go to clubs or parties, you'd always see an attractive person, an attractive lady standing in the corner of the room, and she might be new to the group, she might be shy, who knows? Or the analogy can work inverse depending on what your whether you're a girl into guys or whatever. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is there's always this attractive person standing in the corner of the room, and you're always wondering what the hell that person is doing alone, whether you should talk to them, whatever. And then, if you could talk yourself out of going over there and approaching them because of fear of approaching someone who's attractive, right? It's the same way. I always make this analogy. It's like the pretty girl at the party that is just standing in the corner and nobody's talking to them, and you can't figure out why. That is the same analogy here, right? When Tesla is sitting at the 100-day moving average, and it was there for God knows what, a month, 2 months, nobody wanted to buy it. Really? Like at 660, no one wants to buy it. Everyone wants to buy it at 1,200. Like that just doesn't make sense. The price nearly doubled in what seems like overnight, but it was literally sitting here for the longest freaking time, and nobody wanted to buy it. No, I don't think you should be buying Tesla at 1,200. I do think people hate to hear this, right? But I do think that there are opportunities that are missed. And this, if you did not get into it, is a missed opportunity. And the only reason you want to get into Tesla is because of the name and the amount of money that all of the dip buyers made. But it does not mean that you can replicate the same success. Like, when a stock is cheap, it has exponential growth value. But once something hits $1,200, do you really expect it to go up 1,000% from there? No, you don't. So why do you want to trade it, right? It's because you are FOMOing and you missed the opportunity that everyone else jumped on, and now you're feeling like shit. So Tesla 1200 is not a good investment in my view. Obviously, do what you want to do. If you think Tesla's going to be 5x in 10 years, then yes. But I think that right now, you are better off waiting for a major pullback. You really are. Satish donated 10 pounds to St. Jude's. Thank you so much for your question, bro. I mean, thank you so much for your donation. If you have a question, leave it. Steve Y donated $20. Thank you so much, Steve. Anonymous donated $20. Whoever that was, thank you so much for your donation. You guys are amazing, man. Today we're just killing it. Almost total $2,000 almost raised, going straight to St. Jude. So I appreciate you guys. All right. So Cardano. Okay, so I missed a question on Cardano. Let us go over Cardano. And then if you guys want me to go over Bitcoin, I will. Roku's in here as well. And then something else that I can't read that I wrote down. Someone asked, why is Cardano dropping? It's not. This is the same, almost the same situation that I just discussed with Tesla. I'm not saying Cardano is Tesla, but the fact that the pattern right now is trading in a very tight range, sitting on a major moving average. The person had asked, oh, why is Cardano dropping? It's such a great project. Really? Cardano's dropping, fam? I mean, look, since March 2020, Cardano is up, I don't know, just a cool 11,000%. Jesus Christ, guys. Put things in perspective. That is an insane run. You know, right now it's still following a major uptrend. Cardano is not dropping. Cardano hasn't broken trend yet. This is actually a time that you want to enter it with a stop limit, by the way. I would put a stop limit below the 200-day moving average at around 1.65 or whatever, and just hold it, right? Because these are the types of patterns that end up breaking out, and then everyone's going to start asking about Cardano. But right now, when it's trading in a very tight range, sitting at a moving average, nobody's paying attention to it, right? Like the lonely girl at the party. That's when you tend to get these breakouts, and then everybody wants to FOMO. Now, these chart patterns that I talked about, right? It's not a must that it breaks out, but the probability is that it breaks this way. However, you still set a stop limit below your entry in case it doesn't break out. So know that nothing is a guarantee. However, if you trade according to these principles and rules, you will win more times than you will lose if you are diligent about your stop limits and your entries, and not entering something like Tesla at 1200, right? Z, are you from Kurdistan? No. No, I'm not from Kurdistan. All right. So SHIB bull flag, will it pop? I went over that. Rewind it if you missed that. But yes, it is currently trading in a bullish pennant. Will it pop? Nobody can tell you that. Made 300K on SHIB. Congrats, fam. Congrats. That's amazing. Are you looking to go long on Dell or wait for support? Down 54% after selling VMware stake. Yeah, I did have a earnings play on Dell some weeks back, but I mean, currently, I don't know. Like, yeah, if you're looking at, what are you looking at? Dell? Dell's down 54%. I don't know. Either I'm looking at the wrong chart or you're looking at the wrong chart. I don't see Dell down 54%, fam. Dell is trading near an all-time high. I'm not sure what you're talking about, honestly. But Dell is on this steady uptrend, really going all the way back to 2020. They've been on the steady uptrend. So, Dell is one of these companies that I would invest slowly into if you really want to own it. But yeah, I'm not like super bullish on it where I have to own it. It's just a steady growth stock, really. So again, Steve Y, thank you so much for your donation. You asked a question. You said, thoughts on BABA going into earnings? Is selling a put a good idea? it's not a secret. I don't like Baba. I don't see why people continue to throw money at this. I think a lot of people had money in Baba and they're just not wanting to accept the fact that the Chinese government just hates Jack Ma. The Chinese government does not want to see Alibaba win, right? So they, they're suppressing Jack Ma. They're suppressing Alibaba's business operations. Like, why would anybody want to invest in a stock where the Chinese government, or when any government, I don't want to pick on China here, but where any government is suppressing that company, artificially suppressing that company heavily? Like, why would anybody want to do that? I don't understand the obsession with trading Baba. If you want to trade a Chinese stock, there are better options than Alibaba. So no, I personally would not trade Alibaba. Like, anything that the Chinese government is artificially suppressing, like, why would I want to put my hard-earned money there? I just don't get it. Like, there's so many better growth stocks than Alibaba. Like, why wouldn't you look at, I don't know, at something like Taiwan Semiconductor, right? Which currently is beat down because of the chip shortage. Or why wouldn't you look at something like Qualcomm, right? Like, I don't get why you would look at Alibaba. That is my opinion. Obviously, I'm one man, right? It's up to you, but I just don't see how, knowing what we know, how I would say, yes, Alibaba, that's where it's at. I'm going to force the trades there. Now, if you want to trade Alibaba from an options perspective, oh, hell yeah. Like, if you think that there's a certain directionality, yeah, and you want to trade it, sure, for a short-term cash trade. But there's no way that I'm investing money in something that the Chinese government keeps on muzzling. That just does not make sense to me. And you know it, right? Like, back in the day, we didn't have access to these kinds of news sources and used to get, blindsided by this stuff. But we know what we know. Like, it's out in the open. So I don't see why anyone would do that. Bobby Pauly, meet up in New York. I'll announce when I'm there. Yeah, sure. And if there's enough people, we'll do a meetup, man. We'll grab a slice of pizza and a beer. But this is what Baba has done the last few earnings. Now, it's not even reliable from an expected move standpoint because, a few times Baba pushes outside of the expected move. So, no, I don't think selling a put is a good idea. I don't want to own 100 shares of Baba, first of all. Second of all, it has gone down the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 earnings. It's gone down. 2 of those heavily pushed outside of the expected move. So you could even get a sign on that put pretty easily. No, I personally would not do this, man. You could sell a put spread or something for cash, but I'm not looking to get a sign on Alibaba. Hell no. I'm curious to see, because someone had asked about AMC earlier. I'm curious to see what the short interest is currently on AMC. And if you guys want me to look at short interest on any other stock, let me know. Short interest percentage of free float. Currently, wow, AMC was at 20% of short interest, huh? It's gone down. It's hovering around 17%. Days to cover is 1.6. So days to cover is going up a little bit, but it's not as heavily shorted as it historically was. But still, 17% is pretty damn high. And if we take a look at AMC's chart, and now I did open up a put spread on AMC. I think I opened up which one did I open up? Let me look. By the way, guys, if you want access to all of our trades, link is in the description below. But which put spread did I open? I sold the 35.34 put spread. So I'm banking on AMC staying above $35 by next week. Yeah. So, and the reason that I did that is because it was trading in a very tight range here, finding support at that 35.34 level. And we do have earnings coming up. I believe, I think this date is incorrect on AMC earnings. I believe AMC earnings are actually sooner than that. Let me look. Let's see. AMC Analyze earnings. Yeah, I think AMC earnings. Was AMC earnings yesterday? Or are they reporting today? Guys, if you know the answer, let me know. But anyway, that's the play that I have on AMC. All right, why is SPY not going down? It's really toppy. Well, there's nowhere else to put your money, dude. Like, why? There's nowhere else to put your money. So it's going to continue to melt up higher. Now, you know, as I said before, you do owe it to yourself to buy it or to invest in these indexes at the major moving averages. Like at the 100-day moving average is a perfect time to buy into either the SPY or the QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ, right? You owe it to yourself to buy at these major moving averages, but it's not going down because what is the reason that it would go down? Where else is there to put your money? You know, that's why we keep buying the dip on stocks. You know, whether you're talking about SoFi or Lucid or Apple or Tesla or whatever. I mean, that's why we've been killing it by buying the dip, is because, you know, you don't question the market. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So, you know, I see something that I want to own at a major discount, I'm going to buy it regardless of if it's going to keep going down or not. All right, let's see. Did we get any more donations to St. Jude's? And let me look at your questions. Matthew Pipper donated $5. Thank you so much. Bruno Valente, thank you so much. Bruno, always, always, always thank you. Levi Ward donated $5. Thank you so much. And Bruno had donated $20, by the way. Joseph Cardenas donated $20. Thank you guys so much. So let me look to see if you guys actually had asked questions or not. Levi, Bruno, I don't see a question, guys. Matthew. Yeah, if you guys did ask questions, if you don't mind reposting it, because again, oh, okay. Bruno, I do see your question. So Bruno says, what do you think about Tesla? Do you still favor Tilray and Sundial? Yeah, I think that the discussion surrounding marijuana stocks has taken a back seat to the infrastructure bill and some of the spending bills that have come out, right? But I do think that marijuana will be back on the table. Federal legalization will be back on the table, and you'll start to see a pop in these things. I don't necessarily favor Tilray or Sundial. It was just at the time, based on their charts, they were in prime position for pops, right? Like whether they're sitting at the 200-day or 300-day moving average. But I don't really favor them in terms of investments, right? There's a whole host of ones that you can invest in, but they've all taken a hit because the federal legalization talks have really slowed down. If you remember, you know, this was a topic of discussion for a long time, and then COVID hit. And now we're talking about, you know, infrastructure bills as well as spending bills to help alleviate some of the pandemic ills, I guess. But yeah, if you are going to invest, you can just go into, and I don't know why TradingView is giving me problems right now, but you can invest into something like MJ. But right now, this is a falling knife because, again, there isn't really any any eyeballs on federal legalization, but you will see these things pop. Federal legalization, in my view, is coming. On Tesla, I talked about this before already. It is seeing a bit of a drop today. I think Elon was downplaying, I guess, the Hertz deal. Let me see. Elon Musk. I think he was downplaying the Hertz deal. It might have been on Twitter or it might have been just a news story. But he was downplaying the Hertz deal. Let's see. Elon Musk, Hertz deal. Yeah, Hertz says Tesla's already started delivering cars, even though Musk says there's no signed deal yet. This right here. So this is that guy's a piece of work, man. So apparently the deal isn't signed, but Hertz is saying that Tesla started delivering. One of them is obviously lying, right? And for what reason, I have no idea. It says Musk on Twitter Monday night said that he'd like to emphasize no contract has been signed yet. This dude's a piece of work, man. So yeah, that's why you're seeing a slow. But even then, like, it's so crazy that the buying pressure is so heavy on Tesla, right? Like the hysteria of FOMO is so heavy on Tesla that even then it's only down, 1.25%, and it hasn't really affected the stock much. All he needs to say is, oh yeah, it's back on the table, or, I was talking about something else. My bad. It is actually signed, and you might see it start to melt up again. It does seem like there's no end for Tesla. But as I told somebody before, you have to know when you missed an opportunity. I would not invest heavily in Tesla at $1,200. That's just crazy. That's why you invest in them. That's why you learn to read a chart. That's why you buy these things that you supposedly have high conviction on when they are down and nobody's paying attention to them, right? Like if your conviction on Tesla is so great, and I'm not talking about you, Bruno. I know that, you have bought Tesla before, but I'm talking about people that are asking if they should invest now. Like if you're so bullish on it right now, right? Like you're so impulsively can't control your urge to buy Tesla. Where was your conviction here? Just ask yourself this. I mean, these are honest questions you have to ask yourself. You cannot be delusional. You cannot, lie to yourself. If your conviction is that strong, why wasn't your conviction strong? I've never seen anything like trading where, you're willing to buy something at 1,200, but not at 600. It just makes no sense to me. So yeah, you might not want to hear it if you haven't invested in Tesla and now you're looking at everyone else that did. But I think you missed the boat, and you will have to wait for a retracement. Now, a retracement will happen. It's not going to happen on your own dime, right? Meaning it's not going to happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen, right? You could see the history of any stock, including Tesla. It will drop back down to a major moving average. And at that point, if really you have high conviction, you better pull the trigger. But if you're asking me whether you should buy it at 1,200, guys, Jesus. All right. So there's a bunch of scammers in the chats. I wonder, put this user in timeout. Okay. I don't know what that does, but I just did it. Okay. Joseph Cardenas, again, thank you so much for your donation. If you have a question, post it. Rafael Mendoza, not a question, but I wanted to thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience. Thank you so much, Rafael. Thank you. Anyone know why Open Door falling today, guys? Open Door. Did it report earnings? I don't know. If you want to know why, then, typically what works is Google. So Open Door stock. There you go. You have a bunch of news stories that you can look up. But I assume that it has to do with Zillow, right? Zillow stock falls further after report it plans to sell 7,000 homes for $2.8 billion. Yeah, I think it has to do with potentially an oversupply in the housing market. But yeah, I mean, easily Google and look it up on your own. PayPal, I already went over PayPal twice. So rewind, please. Dell, I talked about Dell already. Skills, I talked about skills already. What's the SPY doing? Why does it keep going up? I talked about that already. Let's see if I missed any donations. Tamir, what's going on, man? Can you answer the above question? Don't Rush donated $5. Thank you so much for your question. And you asked Tamir, I'll look for your question in a second. But I have Don't Rushes here right now. Do you think it is a good time to trade Beyond Meat for trading, not investment. Look, when people ask me, do I think it's a good time to trade? It already alerts me. And this is not, I'm not, making fun of anybody by any means. We all start somewhere. But when someone says, is it a good time to trade? It leads me to the conclusion that you probably don't trade, because you would be able to spot entries and exits already, right? So, and you could pretty much trade anything on any day if you're able to spot the movements. You would look at something like a 5-minute chart. You would play the moving averages or the VWAP or something. But is it a good time to trade? If you're talking about a swing trade, no, I don't like Beyond Meat here. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, for some reason, trade Beyond Meat, you could buy it here, set a stop limit at around, $89, which is below this cluster here, and see how it plays out. But there's nothing in the chart that looks at the moment bullish in the short term. All right, Tamir, $20. Thank you so much for your donation, Tamir. Amazing, bro. $20. Tamir Mori, longtime watcher, longtime donator, donated $20 to St. Jude's. Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, so make it 2K even for the day. $20. Haven't been on the Discord. What are your thoughts on the $17 VIX for now? Yeah, I mean, for mid-November, I do think that the VIX, as I mentioned before, when it gets to that 15, 16 range as a hedge, not as a main play, I don't really play the VIX as a main play. It's really hard to track its movements because it's so violent within a short amount of time by design. But I do, when it gets to that 15, 16 range, this has been the case going back for most of 2021, going all the way back to March. I do like to play the VIX as a hedge, right? So I will buy calls on the VIX in order to hedge against my portfolio, so that if the S&P goes down and my portfolio goes down, then at least the VIX, I could make some money off of VIX calls, because the VIX does make violent moves in a short amount of time, which means that calls and puts can be very profitable on the VIX. I do like it here for calls as a hedge. Again, I don't play it as a main position. So hopefully that answers your question. Jerry, does buying the new options course get me access to the Discord? There will be a section in the Discord. So one of the features of the new options course, and this applies to people that bought it on the last platform, which was Teachable, there will be a channel in the Discord that allows you to ask any questions as you follow along the course, right? Allows you to ask any questions, chat with other people, chat with me as well, because obviously I will be popping in there. We will be doing, live streams going over your options questions. So you will get access to that channel in the Discord, but not the main Discord where we send out all of the trade alerts and stuff. We are exploring that. My team and I are exploring different features. We did talk about that, but for now, no. All right. So Hazy asked the question. Oh yeah, I got to your question, Tamir. I can't read this Russian name. It says hi Z. Hi. I'm sorry, I can't read that, but hi back to you. Your opinion on Tesla, Brittany asked. Brittany, I talked about it about, 4 times already. So rewind and ask and go back and look at it. Jackie donated $50. Oh my God, man. You guys are blowing me away today. Over 2K raised. Thank you guys so much. Jackie, thank you for your donation, man. That's very generous. Donated $50 to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Thank you. All right. Is Baba a buy? I just talked about Baba. Rewind it a little bit. Do you like Facebook at this price? And Jackie, if you have a question, I'd be happy to answer it. So, if you do have a question, post it and I'll try to get to it if I see it, hopefully. What did somebody ask me? Oh, yeah, Facebook. So Facebook is a buy in my view. I think it's crazy that people weren't buying this at the 300-day moving average. We sent it out in the private trading group. Again, for those of you that want access to our trades, link is in the description below. You get access to all of the stocks, options, the crypto trades, etc. So yeah, sign up. Link is in the description below. But yes, it's crazy to me that people didn't buy Facebook at the 300-day moving average because of, I don't know, take your pick of news story, because of a whistleblower appearing in Congress saying things that we've known all along. Now, trust me when I say this, in terms of an actual business model, right? Not a business model, because I think Facebook's business model from just a pure business case study is actually a great model. But from an ethical model, or from an ethical standpoint, I don't like what Facebook does. I don't have a Facebook account. I don't like the research that comes out showing what, Instagram is doing to the teenage mind. And I do think that there needs to be some change there. And their move from the Facebook name to Meta is very smart. People were making fun of the name before, but they're not changing the name of the platform Facebook. They're changing the name of the company to distance. It's a great PR move, right? They want to distance themselves from negative news and maybe appear as if they are changing some of these nefarious things about their business model. I likened it to when Google, right? Google changed its name. People still refer to it as Google. Look at what the name of Google is officially. It's Alphabet. It's not Google, right? So when people were making fun of Facebook or making such a huge deal about its name change, guys, Google has been named Alphabet for years and nobody gave a shit. We still refer to it as Google, but as a company, they refer to themselves as Alphabet. So same thing as Facebook. As a umbrella company, they're referring to themselves as Meta, but the platform itself is still going to be known as Facebook. Anyway, my point is, you have a company that's $1 trillion company that brings in $30 billion a quarter, that has a gross profit margin of 80%. It's one of the most successful companies in human history, and it's sitting at the 300-day moving average. Of course it's a buy, right? Now, I don't begrudge anybody for not trading it based on their ethical standards. Of course, do what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable trading, Raytheon or Boeing or Palantir or Facebook or whatever because of their ties to the government or because of their nefarious practices as it relates to privacy and data, by all means, that's everyone's personal decision. But just as a business case, just as a chart, it's crazy to me that people wouldn't buy Facebook at the 300-day moving average. Again, assuming that you don't have any sort of compunction against buying Facebook as a business model. Kevin Frazier, thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin donated $50 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you. Michelle K, $10 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you too. Thank you guys so much, man. This is amazing. I'm blown away. I'm humbled. Thank you guys so much. And I appreciate nobody doing the super chats, because before I would say, guys, don't send super chats, send donations, and people would send super chats anyway. Guys, I don't need the money. Thank God. Don't send me the super chats. Give it to charity. All right. Let's see. Oh, and be sure to hit that thumbs up. A reminder, hit that thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. All right. Anything that you guys want me to look at? Michelle, Kevin, Jackie, you guys have donated, and I don't see a question. So I do want to get to your questions first, if you guys have them. If not, then just thank you for the donation. All right. Let me get into... oh, man, I'm going to have a tough time pronouncing this. Kanch Madurawala. Thank you so much for your $5 donation to St. Jude's. Amazing. Thank you. Jim Robinson, I joined your group 3 months ago and never got any trade alerts. Did you connect to the Discord? You probably haven't, because, we're sending them all day, every day on the Discord. But if you're on the Discord, then hit me up, DM me if you're on the Discord. Otherwise, send an email to info@thetravelingtrader.com. And we'll try and get you connected if you're not connected. But there are certain directions that you have to follow. Is Jay Powell going to give a speech today? Yes, there's the FOMC meeting today. As a matter of fact, let us look at whether we have an update. I think it's at 2:00 Eastern time, though. I believe that. So that is in what, 11, 12, 1, 2. That is in 2 hours from now, 3 hours from now. So yeah, I don't expect to hear Jay Powell's opinion until then. But so that's a good point. We should talk about this. So what are we expecting from the Fed, and what are we expecting that to do to the market? Well, tapering hasn't happened a ton of times in the past because asset purchases to this extent hasn't happened that many times in the past. Now, we did have it back as a result of the 2008 financial crisis. And when the Fed announced tapering, we then saw an initial shock to the market. I think that the market dropped by 6% within a very short amount of time, so in pullback territory. However, it ended the year 30% higher. So as I said before, tapering is largely priced in. And, you know, even if we do experience a shock to the market, in my view, that is a buying opportunity. So let's just say that the S&P does drop to the 50-day moving average, or the 100-day moving average, or we get even more of a shock. To me, that is a buy. Not only in the high conviction stocks that are part of these large indexes like the S&P and the NASDAQ, but also these index funds, right? I tend to buy them for the long term, for my long-term portfolio. So in my view, that would be a buy. But tapering is largely priced in. Everyone knows tapering is going to happen. It's just the extent of the tapering is not known, right? So if Jay Powell comes in and says, hey guys, inflation is really fucking bad, we really have to pull back a lot at a much more accelerated pace than we thought before, yes, then you will see even more of a shock to the market. But if it's just, hey, we're going to taper and we're going to do it gradually from now until next, I don't know, July, then, you know, the market could drop a little. Interest rates could go up a bit, which would affect growth stocks more than value stocks. It would affect NASDAQ more than it does the S&P. And you could see a drop in stocks in the short term, but I personally don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Now, what will be a big deal is if something unexpected happens. So if Jay Powell says, we have to raise rates, we have to raise interest rates, then I think we will be in a pretty tough shape, because I don't think anyone expected interest rates to raise that soon, right? So yeah. All right, let me get back to your questions. Kevin, Michelle, Jackie, if you guys have any questions, Conch, if you have a question, please send it so that I don't miss it. All right, let's see. Siraj asks about Zoom. Anonymous donated £5. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Backed long term. Oh, Kevin Frazier, thank you for your donation. Okay, so I definitely want to get to your question. Glad I found it. Thoughts on Snap? I'm not sure what you mean. The thoughts question is rather vague, so I don't know if you mean investment, trading, options. So if you don't specify, I'm just going to go at it the way that I see it. I do think Snap is a very overvalued company. I've talked about it before, and actually it dropped 27% on earnings. And when I had said that last time, I was going through Seeking Alpha, and I was saying it in a video as well as in the Discord group. I was like, this is one of the worst valued companies I've ever seen. And that was when it was trading, in the 70s. If you look at it right now, it's PE its price to earnings non-GAAP is almost $150, right? Its price to cash flows trading at something insane, 1,585 times its cash flow. Price to book almost trading 30 times its book value. Like it's such a terribly valued company. I do not understand why it was trading where it was trading. And lo and behold, it did drop almost 30% in one day. And there's a lot of people that actually YOLO'd into puts for earnings and made bank on this play here. I personally wasn't in the Snapchat puts. I didn't have time to get my order in. But anyway, it is still at $52, $53, a terribly valued company that hasn't figured out how to make money yet. Now, I think the expectation is that these companies that have large user bases will end up learning how to make money. And if you're just looking from a technical perspective, yes, you could make a trade on Snap here. You could buy Snap and you'll be at an advantage because you could set a stop limit very close to your entry. You could set a stop limit you could buy it at $52, set a stop limit at $49 and just wait. You know, it is oversold on the RSI. Wait to see if we do get a run up back to that $70 range. So yeah, I don't mind trading it at all. I think it is a terrible company from a valuation standpoint. So hopefully that answers your question, Kevin. And again, thank you so much for your donation. Conch also donated and answered a question. PFE, please. Guys, I would really appreciate if you throw a little bit more context to your questions. Otherwise, you know, I don't know what you're really asking. I don't know if you're talking about trades or options or investments or whatever. But PFE, yeah, no secret, came in with an insane revenue estimate of $22.5 billion, a lot of it due to COVID. The market could not ignore that. Reported, earnings of $1.34 EPS, and we see a pop. Not sure what else you're looking for, Conch. This is an earnings move on a company that has really benefited greatly from the current scenario that the world is in. You know, it does trade in waves. It was probably a buy sitting here at the 100-day moving average before earnings, right? Because of the patterns that it does historically trade in. And it does pay a pretty healthy quarterly dividend of 39 cents. So yeah, I think that's another reason that you saw a pop here before earnings. I think a lot of people bought in, not only they're trying to get a double whammy effect or a one-two punch combo effect, right? They thought that PFE might beat earnings, and they were trying to get in before the ex-dividend date to be eligible for this dividend. So it was like a win-win. Hopefully that answers your question. Yes, it's a good investment long-term. It is a traditional value stock that continues to grow and find ways to make money by selling pharmaceuticals. All right. Man, I'm so bummed I bought $10K worth of Tesla before the split in 2020. Why would you be bummed? That's fucking amazing. All right. But that's amazing. Bart, stop spamming your question, man. Because you spammed it, I'm not going to answer it. You wrote it like 100 million times. Do you think PINS is undervalued right now? I don't think it's undervalued from a pure valuation standpoint, but I do think there is a point at which I'm willing to buy it. Right now, it is a falling knife. Now, they do report earnings, and I'm curious to know how PINS reacts to earnings. They report earnings this week, I believe, on Thursday. Let's see how they react to earnings traditionally. They are all over the place, but one thing's for sure, they routinely go above and beyond the expected move. So last time they dropped below the expected move, same thing the time before, and then you had kind of a muted earnings here, and then you had a big expected, a big move here back past the expected move. Same thing the earnings before, same thing the earnings before. So, in this case, you're probably better off, I don't know, doing something that has an options play, maybe like, even though I hate doing it, but buying an iron condor instead of selling an iron condor, or buying a straddle, for instance, which is very expensive, but would benefit from a pop in either direction, because it tends to pop outside of the expected move, or not playing it at all. But no, I don't think it's undervalued from a valuation standpoint, and I would much rather wait to see, whether it would find support here or not before making a big move on pins. And unfortunately, there's nothing that would really tell you in which direction it's going to pop on earnings. It's very risky. But if you think it's undervalued and you want to buy calls before, if you want to buy calls before earnings, by all means, just know that it's very, very risky. No question with the donation, but want to shout out Z and his options course. He has helped me understand everything I need to know. Thank you so much, Caleb. Thank you. And thank you for your donation. If I missed it, I apologize not shouting it out. Georgie Lazarov donated $5. Thank you so much. Caleb donated $5. Thank you so much. Anonymous. Wow. $100 donation to St. Jude's. Whoever that is, thank you guys so much. And props. Props. Thank you so much. And yes, about the options course. Again, 6 days left. To sign up for the discount. So again, all you have to do is put your email address in the link below. That link is in the description, but that page is going down after 6 days. It's actually going down on Saturday or Sunday, I believe. But yeah, you only have 6 days to take advantage of that. So for any of you that have wanted to buy it, either for yourself or as a gift or whatever, go to that sign up page. Link is in the description below. It'll only be up for another 6 days. How about PFE versus Moderna? I talked about PFE. I do think that PFE over the course of the long term is a better value stock. I mean, you're talking about $25 billion in quarterly revenue versus Moderna's $6 billion. And Moderna really popped because of, the COVID vaccine. I do think that mRNA in general will be obviously the way of the future as it relates to vaccines. So there is a space in a long-term portfolio for Moderna. It is sitting here at the 100-day moving average, and I do like it before earnings. It does report this week as well. Let's look at how Moderna acts usually on earnings. But I will be sending out a lot of these earnings trades in the Discord. Oh, wow. Moderna is actually rather muted during earnings. I expected it to be more volatile. And it has a subdued implied volatility, meaning that you would benefit from, usually net debits or things such as calendars and diagonal spreads. But, wow, it is rather muted. I did not expect to see this on Moderna. So you could play neutral strategies fairly easily here. Obviously, just because it did it before doesn't mean it has to do it. But in general, it stays within the expected move. Only popped above slightly back in October 2020. Otherwise, it usually stays within the expected move. So, yeah. And in terms of an investment, I do think that you're getting a much more legacy company in Pfizer because they don't only deal with vaccines, whereas Moderna is known primarily for their mRNA vaccine, and Pfizer pays a dividend. So if I'm going to pick one over the other, I would pick Moderna. I would pick Pfizer for value and Moderna for growth, right? There you go. Where do I need to sign up to get the trade alerts? Link is in the description, Jerry. So either look for my website link or the Patreon link. You'll find that in the description. All right, Z, catch you at Bliss JBR. Pull up. Dude, I'm not in Dubai right now. I'm in LA. But yeah, next time I'm in Dubai for sure. We did a meetup last time and it was amazing. Got to catch up with a few of you, make a few new friends. It was a great time. But yeah, next time I'm there for sure. I'll send it out again because a lot of you tend to live there. And I did think about moving there. I don't know, at least temporarily, because, man, for some reason they've embraced crypto like crazy there. And, I'm not even able to use Binance here in the US, which sucks. All right, did I miss any donations? Mo Barami donated $5. Thank you so much, Mo, for your donation. Amazing, man. Thank you so much. Let me see if I missed any donation shout-outs. George, I already shouted you out, but did you have a question? God, man, YouTube really needs to step its game up with this donation stuff. I don't see a question, George, so hopefully I didn't miss it. If I missed it, please post it again. Mo, did you have a question? Mo. Let's grab coffee in LA. Yeah, Jerry, for sure. I'll do a small coffee shop meetup or whatever. I actually met someone at the Starbucks in Marina Del Rey. It wasn't a meetup. It was just a spot. They just came up to me and recognized me. But yeah, if you're on the west side, especially, we can definitely meet up. Thoughts on Tesla? Talked about Tesla about 10 times. Rewind. Does Vale look like a falling knife? Yes, Perrin. I talked about Vale. It does look like a falling knife, but it is one of the most undervalued companies in that sector. Jaffer Baker, I'm gonna dislike this live stream. You never answer my goddamn question. Dude, there's a ton of questions, and maybe leave a donation to St. Jude's, and I will prioritize your question. Otherwise, there's no way for me to get to it. So if your butt hurt, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. All right. Let's see. Queenie, Blue Bottle Coffee in Century City. Yes, there's a Blue Bottle Coffee in Abbot Kinney as well. All right. Thoughts on Polkadot, Angelo. Okay, so we haven't done a crypto in a while. And then Mo, who left a donation, says, when you find an undervalued stock, what makes you buy options versus buying the stock itself? That's a good question, and I'll try to answer that. A lot of it has to do with feel. Nah, I'm just playing, but now you answer. Well, dude, leave a donation, Jaffer or Jaffer. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. And I'll try and spot your question. Dot, we got into Dot. I think it was Gunmetal shout out, but we got into Dot pretty early. He's been buying Dot for the longest time. He might as well have founder's rights at this moment, but Dot, I think right now is obviously on an insane streak. I wouldn't buy it here coming up on resistance. I would wait for a retracement, honestly. But yeah, Mo, you said when you find an undervalued stock, what makes you buy options versus buying the stock? Okay, so in general, and you guys might know this, I normally don't buy options. I'm a seller of options. So I would much rather sell a cash secured put rather than buy options. Now, on something like Facebook, I was willing to buy leaps, and the leap is just a long dated call option. So we bought leaps that I think expire in January or March or something of next year. And then we sold calls against it. This is called a poor man's covered call. You can Google it. But we bought leaps. I bought leaps on Facebook because it is a lot cheaper to buy leaps than it is to invest 100 shares in the stock. So if you're going to buy 100 shares in the stock, that will cost you $33,000 right now. But if you could spend a lot less and buy leaps and mimic the move of 100 shares of stock, right? Because when you buy an options contract, you're buying the right to control 100 shares of stock. However, you are spending a lot less because you are buying the call option versus buying 100 shares of stock itself. So really only on blue chip stocks that have retraced this heavily at a major moving average would I consider buying options. Otherwise, I sell options. I like selling cash secured puts. Now, it's really just, it's by feel, but there's a lot of stocks that I don't really care to own outright. So Lucid was one of them. Activision Blizzard, which I do like as a company, but when it was sitting here at support, I think I sold the $75 put, I think it was, or the $70 put. I didn't want to make a decision whether to buy 100 shares of stock there. I wanted the market to make the decision for me. So if I sold the $75 put, and let's say I sold it for $5, right, or $500, if I got assigned, then the market would have made the decision for me, and I get to buy ATVI for a less price. than I would if I had actively made the decision to buy 100 shares of stock. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong either way. It's just that when you buy leaps, you're mimicking 100 shares of stock with a lot less money up front, if that makes sense. Or if you sold a put, right? Not sure if you went over it already, but was in a meeting. What's your price target for Mara? Regine is asking. Okay. So Mara right now is in favor over something like Riot, but it can go as high as crypto goes, right? So it's really tough to say what the price target for Mara is, because I would have told you that you might face resistance here at the $60 range, and we're currently trading at $60. But it really depends on how the market reacts to crypto, considering what Jay Powell says today and what the Fed says today, right? Currently, Bitcoin is up almost 4% today, or a little above 4%, which is why you're seeing Mara go up. But if we're going to see a pour into crypto by year's end as an inflation hedge, then you could see Mara push into the $70 range. Remember that these crypto stocks don't track crypto one for one. So it's very tough to really give a price target based on the underlying, because it doesn't move in a one-to-one fashion, right? But I would say that if you do see Bitcoin push into that 70 to 80K range by end of the year, as the stock to flow model shows, then you could see like a $70 target on Mara. But it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving or leftovers the next day. Your thoughts? What's up, Khaled? How are you doing, man? Leftovers for sure, bro, because you get, it's soaking in that goodness overnight, right? For sure. Anonymous donated $10 to St. Jude. Thank you so much, whoever that was. Casey Ray donated another $5. Thank you so much. Hut is up 40%. Casey asks, over the last 30 days and 9% today. Could you take a look at an options play here? Does Hut actually have options? Let's see. I don't know that it does, but we can take a look. Sure. Yeah, I guess it does have options. Oh, it even has weekly options. Wow. You learn something new every day. Currently, there are 48,000 calls in terms of volume and 11,000 puts. So the market is definitely more bullish than bearish. Wow, this was actually a great crypto play that I missed, or a crypto stocks play that I missed. I mean, it's very tough to play options right now, man. Like, the thing is rocketing. So I definitely wouldn't play any bullish options. I wouldn't play options here at all, actually. Unless you think that it's going to go up further, then you would simply scroll down here, look for an expiration date that's a little further out, and see which one is getting the most volume, right? And then you want to jump on that bandwagon if you expect Hut to keep going up. But I don't see a play right here. This would just be FOMO, honestly. All right. Anonymous, $10 to St. Jude's. Guys, thank you so much. Over $2,300 raised. Armando donated $50 Canadian to St. Jude's. Thank you so much, Armando. If you have a question, please leave it down below. Let me see, Armando. And then I think I'm going to wrap up the stream because we've been going for an hour and a half and I need to get back to trading. Armando, did you have a question? If so, leave it. If not, then thank you so much for the donation. All right, I'll take a couple more questions. Do you take profit now before taper announcement? Dude, if you're short term, sure. But again, as I said, I don't think the taper is going to have long-term effects on the market. So no, unless you are that short term, sure. But if if you do have an investment, why would you take, if you do have an investment portfolio, why would you take that tax hit just for a short-term savings, right? You essentially get paid, you essentially get taxed at double if you jump out of a position before a year is over. So no. What's going on with CAR? Armando, if you have a question, man, I want to get to it before I bounce. Oh shit, I know somebody that bought call options on this. No fucking way. I know somebody that bought call options on this, but I think they absolutely crushed earnings, right? They came in at $10.74 earnings per share, beat earnings by 56%. They are up 145% today. Insane. I know someone that bought calls on this. Great job. Yeah, but this is what you call an earnings overreaction the other way. What's up with Cardano? I talked about Cardano. Scroll back. What kind of pump do you think we will get from Kraken? Not sure what you're talking about. Keep up the awesome content. Sorry for spamming. No worries, Bart. Will you ever add more lessons like your options course? Yes, we're going to be doing one on technical analysis, but I want to do it right. I want to make it extremely in depth. So, but we will be doing that soon. Armando says XRP. Okay, thank you for your donation, Armando. XRP. By the way, this would probably be a good candidate to buy puts on. I will look at that in the trading group for sure. XRP. Yeah, I mean, XRP is rather muted right now, trading in this tight range. Again, same thing as I mentioned on some of the other cryptos. You could buy it here with a stop limit, right at like the 92-cent range. But there isn't really anything that's inherently bullish on this. You see, there's no volume at all. But these sleeper periods is when you tend to get, these pops. When you tend to get these pops like this is when nobody's looking, right? And you see here, same thing. So I do think it's worth an entry here on XRP, assuming that you have a stop limit at around the 92, 93 cent range for sure. What about SHIB prediction? I talked about SHIB, but I seem to be getting a lot of questions on this. So again, it's forming this bullish pennant, but I don't think SHIB can hit anywhere near a penny if it doesn't do a significant amount of coin burning. So if you look at its supply, I mean, it's still insane. Like, we're talking about 549 trillion, right? Its volume over the last 24 hours dropped by almost 50%. So, when I caution you guys on this stuff, a lot of the fans of SHIB or a lot of folks that are hoping to strike rich off of something like SHIB, they get mad at me for this, but I don't care. It's the truth, right? Like, someone will get caught holding the bag. Just look at Dogecoin. It dropped from 70 cents to 26 cents and 25 cents. Hasn't been back up since. So, if it doesn't do a significant amount of coin burns, it's going to be almost impossible for SHIB to get to that 1 cent price level, because then you're talking about a $4 trillion market cap coin. Just to keep things in perspective, Apple is worth $2 trillion. Apple, the company, is worth $2 trillion. You think SHIB is really going to be a $4 trillion coin, right? Amazon is not even worth $2 trillion. Facebook is not even worth $1 trillion yet. It was, and then it dropped back down. Google is not even worth $2 trillion. So, guys, $4 trillion for SHIB? No, that's not going to happen. It's going to have to burn a huge amount of this supply here in order for the price to push up, right? So, and I would just caution, again, don't put in more money than you are willing to lose overnight. At some point, these rallies will stop, right? Now, this right here is a bullish pattern, and you do expect it to break out to the upside, which is fine. But at some point, there will be a top. So just make sure that you have targets for yourself. Make sure that you are taking profit if you want to take profit. And if you don't, make sure that you're not putting in more money than you are willing to lose. All right. So Anonymous donated $5. Armando, $50. Yes. Okay, cool. I got to your question, Armando, hopefully. Regine says thanks. Thank you, Regine, for always tuning in. Do you enjoy what on the West Coast? Do you enjoy, I assume you're talking about weed? No, I don't smoke weed. Even though everyone accuses me of showing up to these live streams and doing videos. I actually don't smoke weed at all, which is surprising. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end the stream there. Yeah, I will catch you guys. For those of you that are in the Discord, I'll catch you guys on the private trading group. Guys, leave a like. Thank you so much for your donations. We raised so far over $2,400 going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I'm overwhelmed by the love and support. Thank you guys so much for that. And I'm sure they appreciate it even more than I would, right? All I have to do is turn on the camera and you guys donate. So thank you guys so much for that. I'm sure they appreciate it. If, again, 6 days left for the options course, that link is for the relaunch options course. Link is in the description below. For those of you that already bought it before, you will get an email update. So don't worry about that. Yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. All right. Peace.